ensayan rápido, entonces ponen el pie. Lo ensayan rápido, entonces ponen el pie.
Welcome back to Civil Discourse Now. I'm Mark Small.
And I'm Paul Ogden.
We are coming to you live from Recovery Room Lounge at 19th and Lafayette Road in Indianapolis, Indiana. We're discussing the smoking ban that went into effect on June 1st in Indianapolis, but also there's another smoking ban that goes into effect on October 1st for the city of Lawrence that's located inside Marion County. Penny Lee is a bartender at Rack's Bar and Grill. It's located at Pendleton and Post, is that correct?
Yes.
It's over on the city's east side. Lawrence is kind of an area of Indianapolis on the east side.
A little small town, yeah.
Yeah. How long's Rack's been there?
6 to 8 years. It's been there for a while.
Now, have you been around smoking all your life?
I have been around smoking all my life. My mother and father both have smoked my whole life.
And then you've worked in a bar for how long?
A little over 15 years.
Okay. So, do you feel any adverse health consequences?
I do not. I do not. I have never smoked, and I don't feel any health effects at all from smoking. I smell it on my hair when I go home at night. That's about it.
Have you noticed anything in terms of what percentage would you say of your patrons at the bar smoke?
Well, we're a small neighborhood bar, so we get a lot of older people, and I would say a good 90% of our people smoke.
And when you say it's a neighborhood bar, a lot of regulars come in?
A lot of regulars, yeah.
Do you have a euchre night? Gotta ask that. It's Indiana.
No.
And people out there watching.
I know, and I don't play. I don't know how to play.
Don't play euchre?
No. I know, everyone thinks that's crazy.
Are you from Indiana?
Yes.
And you I don't.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, have you noticed an increase at all?
I have.
So Marion County went smoke free. Lawrence is in Marion County. That meant smoke free. That's really. They banned smoking.
I think it's ridiculous. It's our freedom.
Yeah.
It's your freedom. We're all grown adults. It's our freedom. So we're not just, agreeing with the smoking ban. We're agreeing to get rid of our freedom. That's what it is to me. I've never smoked. I don't plan on smoking. But we're grown adults. It should be our choice to smoke.
And so you haven't noticed an increase in business?
Yes, we have had an increase in business the past few weeks.
So
because you can still smoke.
Clarify, because that may be because Marion County is gone.
Yes.
Non-smoking in the bars, and the people can go to Lawrence at least until August 1st, September 1st?
October. I believe it's October 1st.
So you haven't had the effect.
Not yet.
Yeah,
but I really think it's gonna hurt our business.
Okay, well, Penny, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to grab Brad back here, I think, and get him.
Brad?
Yes,
we're ready to replace Penny with you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
No, I prefer Penny here instead of you.
I would prefer Penny as well. In fact, I might just go talk to Penny and tell you guys to beat it.
Brad is not my type.
Move over.
There you go.
It is our rare privilege and honor to have on the show the candidate for Lieutenant Governor of the state of Indiana for the Libertarian Party, Brad Kloppenstein.
You guys mind if I drink a beer during this interview?
No.
Yeah, I do. I'm not drinking. I have to drive home from here.
Oh.
I don't.
Sorry.
You can walk.
I tell you, I could not be more excited to be on your show.
Well, we're glad to have you on here.
Yeah, good to have you.
Brad, you're running for Lieutenant Governor. What do you think about the smoking ban here in Marion County?
Sucks. But beyond that, they're putting people out of business. I mean, that's why we're having this fundraiser here today.
No, wait a second, Brad. I read the Indianapolis Star. They had an editorial.
Wait a minute. What's the Indianapolis Star?
It's a paper that comes a couple times a week. I only get a couple.
Oh, they used to print that.
Yeah.
Okay. Never
It
mind.
used to be real thick and have lots of ads in it.
Okay, I remember
I
that.
have nothing. But anyway, I remember reading it said that the smoking ban's actually good for bar business. For bar.
No, it's not. it's already a rough time of year. Just because summertime it slows down, but I mean, almost every bar owner that's here, last summer was hot, so you can't say it's because it's overly hot this year. Every bar owner here is down at least 10% year to year. And
during the summer?
During the summer. But if you look at their last June of 11 versus June of 12, everything else equal, they're down about 10%. And so it hurts bars. And unfortunately, when you talk about the Star, and I'll even throw Indianapolis Monthly under the bus since they decided they were going to take a dig at me and the Tavern League of Indiana.
Indianapolis Monthly, or was it Nuvo? Or
Indianapolis Monthly.
Okay.
Nuvo might have as well. I just didn't see it.
Or Nuvo did.
Yeah, but they took a dig, and basically their point, especially with the Star, is, you know what, you guys lost, you need to shut up, you need to go away. And I would like them to use that same notion on right to lifers. You can just as easily say, come on, Roe v. Wade's the law of the land, you guys just need to go away and accept it.
Well, you can make that argument on any issue.
Right, exactly.
It's like, oh, we won now. It's like the daylight savings time. It's like, oh, we won now. Let's go on to something else.
I hate daylight saving.
Well, I agree. I don't like it being light out to 9:30 at night. That might be another show.
And I don't like the designated hitter either. I've never understood that, but that's...
Yeah, that should be banned.
That's why Mike Leake has a job with the Reds. Dude can hit.
Yeah, he can hit. Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, so it's not good for business.
It's not. And the fact is, we're not having any new customers come into our businesses. They're like, as soon as this passes, all sorts of people will flock to all these formerly smoking establishments. It's not the case.
At best, they would be moving around from one place to another.
Right, exactly. So if that was truly the case, the formerly non-smoking establishments, their business should be down and ours should be up. Right. But that's not the case at all. All they've done is taken a segment of our customer base and said, you are no longer welcome here. And I know just from my experience with my bar, the people who used to come in because they could have a cigarette with lunch, they're not coming in, or they're only staying 15 or 20 minutes, and then they're getting out of there. So, we're probably having a similar number of bodies through the door, but instead of having two, they're having one and then going home.
Well, one thing I find interesting is that they believe, the people who are saying that the smoking ban's good for business are people who haven't invested a dime in businesses, yet they're telling these people who put their life savings in the bars that they just don't know what they're talking about.
Right. Now, had there been some guarantee, and they said, all right, we're going to guarantee your losses for the first year so that you have an opportunity to readjust your business model or whatever, that would have worked better, which I would never have advocated for that. I'm just saying if they're going to push something like this through, yeah, it's easy for them to say, you guys are going to be better off. They have zero skin in that game. They're not the ones that go out of business. They're not the ones that get laid off if they're wrong.
Yeah.
And I certainly think that nobody knows my customer base better than I do. And to tell me that some third party who's never going to be a customer in my bar knows how I should be running my business, Mark, I don't tell you how to be an attorney. Paul, I don't tell you how to be an attorney. It's because you guys are skilled in that trade. You are the experts in your field.
Yeah, but on the other hand, we do tell bars how we want to have bars run by our being customers. And so if I smoke and I go into a bar because I like the fact that I can smoke in there, I'm expressing my vote or giving my vote with my dollars. That's how the marketplace works.
Exactly. And the thing is, the market was naturally going smoke-free.
Yeah.
We would have been there 7 to 10 years from now anyhow. And it's just, every day in the paper, and the Star used this as one of the, to build their case. They said, oh, look at all these bars are going smoke-free.
Yeah.
They could do it. Yes, they could do it because the time was right for that particular establishment. But every time a bar goes smoke-free, that further consolidates smokers into the remaining smoking establishments, and then there's fewer smokers, and after time, another one can afford to do it. So we were going that direction, but they didn't let the market have its say.
It was going the direction of reducing the number of bars that allowed smoking. It doesn't mean that ultimately all bars would ban smoking.
Right. And I guess the thing that galls me, tobacco is a legal product.
Yes.
It's every bit as legal as alcohol. It's restricted. It's the same agencies govern who can and cannot sell it. And to say that, you're allowed to buy it, you can consume it, you just can't consume it in public with others.
They've had a really good turnout here today. I mean,
Huge turnout.
yeah, it's been great in support of the fight against the ban. We are engaged in litigation on that. That's one step that has been taken. But any idea of? I mean, other states, for example, Mobile, Alabama, just voted down the ban this week. There have been cities, towns that have repealed bans that they've had. Have you gotten feedback nationally from Tavern League owners or others?
Yeah, especially Michigan has been really good about providing information. Michigan has had a ban now for just over a year, and to a person, their bar owners, the ones that are still in business and the ones that have gone out of business, have said, don't let this happen in Indiana. And the state of Michigan is a great test study on this just because they are down 10% across the board. On the other side of that, their casinos did not have to go smoke-free. Their casinos are up 10%.
I was talking with a person in Florida 2 days ago, I think it was, and she told me that the bars down there, I said, well, your bars banned it a couple of years ago, but you can smoke outside. And she said, no, they've changed that. She said they've adapted it so that now if you have so much in sales of food and alcohol percentage-wise, you can have smoking. And I said, that's how Sunday liquor sales, because Indiana is like really behind on a lot of other states. It used to be that you could not drink in Indiana or get alcohol in Indiana on a Sunday, and then they changed it in the mid-'70s to where if you did like $50,000 a year in business and food, you could serve alcohol on Sundays, and then they just kind of like brought it in gradually. Now Florida is saying if you do so much a year in alcohol sales and percentage-wise as compared to food, you can have smoking indoors. So they're going back on that.
Oh, that's interesting. What about Indiana? Are there other communities going with the ban, or?
Well, there's a lot. I mean,
we had a statewide.
Right. We've got a statewide ban that's taken effect.
Bars.
What hasn't been talked about with the statewide ban, suddenly now every business can have the state smoking policy enforced by the excise police. So the excise police now have the ability to go into any business. It can be a hair salon or an insurance agent.
Oh, really?
And just because of the 8 foot from the door rule. So now everybody is beholden to the excise police and their enforcement. But yeah, part of that bill was the excise police can now enforce this at any business. It's not just alcohol establishments.
So, I'm sorry, can we please back up just a
Yes.
little bit? So we have another police agency that can just walk in without a warrant.
Well, and they've done that in Marion County with code enforcement. Code enforcement now has police powers when it comes to the Marion County smoking ban. So yes, so code enforcement in Marion County has police powers that they didn't have before. The state excise police now has enforcement powers over all businesses, not just businesses that are licensed to sell alcohol and tobacco.
Are those officers required to go through any kind of like professional training for police?
The state excise officers are. They go through the same training that you would have for any police officer for really any agency. However, code enforcement, no.
Okay. So code enforcement, they're reaching for the bullet in their pocket while they're...
Yeah, exactly. It's so
Barney Fife Act.
right. It's similar to what they're doing with the water restrictions. I mean, and that's a slightly different topic from what we're on.
Right.
But yeah, they've suddenly deputized a whole lot of people on a whole lot of different items.
Well, that's certainly, I guess the smoking zealots have gotten like some kind of freedom aspect in their minds, and that's certainly affecting freedom. We're at the end of this segment. We'll be back. Brad, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
All right.
Appreciate it. Paul, thank you very much.
Take care.